In this video, I'm going to show you 3 reasons to why you could be getting steep in the downswing. So if you're someone who really chronically suffers with this problem, but you're not sure why, this is the video for you. So make sure you stick around for all 3 reasons here, because it's really important knowledge for you to have to fix your steep shaft. So I'm Jonathan Chan with JChownGolf. Let's get right into this first reason. So guys, just before we get into the first main reason here, let's explain a little bit why a steep shaft can be such a big problem for golfers. So you could be someone in a downswing, coming down and their shaft's getting vertical. So a vertical shaft there is a steep shaft. Now why that's a problem, because if I continue to rotate and stay in my posture from there, I'm going to really swipe across the golf ball and I'm going to be hitting really down it. So a big out to in path and really deep divots. So if you're someone out there who struggles with massive divots and real slicey weak shots, steep shaft is most likely the issue. But what will happen for a lot of players, and a lot of good players as well, they could have a steep shaft in transition, and then from there they'll end up extending the pelvis forward, so early extending. So if you watched my early extension video I've just put up, this is the video I said about steepening the shaft. This is the one. So we can see how that's going to cause my pelvis to shift forward, stall out my rotation, and then I'm going to get all flippy through the golf ball, lots of club face control. So it's really a move we don't want to do if we want to have a nice, easy, consistent, repeatable golf swing. So let's get into the first reason why we could be steepening the club in a downswing. So the first one here is about your left wrist angle, so your lead wrist, my left wrist as I'm a right-handed golfer. So let's say we're getting up to the top of the backswing. Let's say, for example's sake, my left wrist is nice and flat here. Nice and flat left wrist, nothing wrong with that. So let's see now, going down in the downswing, I'm going to cup the wrist in transition. So you can see my shaft is slightly laid off here. Now it's getting very steep and vertical. All I'm doing is I am really extending, cupping my left wrist. So it's causing that shaft to stand up vertical, and then all the compensations have to be made from there. And this can be the same case as well for you guys who have a cup to left wrist at the top of the backswing and you maintain it in the downswing. Then, yep, that's going to again cause you to steepen the shaft. So for golfers who have a stronger grip, this might be you by nature, because like we've said in other videos as well, if you're going to make a stronger grip work, you need cupping in the left wrist and you need to shallow it through other ways. But if you don't, and you're, let's say, got a cup left wrist with a standard grip, you're steepening that shaft, you're definitely going to have to get rid of that to make your golf swing more functional. So what we're going to do, we want to be able to take that away. In my opinion, if you're a golfer who is having a cup left wrist at the top, I would want to take that out, albeit you've got a standard grip. So our first little thing we're going to do here, guys, straight into a drill of what we're going to do. So all we need is a glove. Now this is going to take that cupping out of your left wrist straight away. And you're going to see when I'm doing this properly how it influences my shaft pitch in a downswing. All we need then is a tee. So we put our favourite drill of my channel, we put a glove and we put a tee on the front end of the glove near the logo. Now if I start to cup that left wrist, this tee is going to jab into my forearm. It's not going to be nice. So now getting up to the top of the backswing, I have to now have a very flat left wrist. Again, if I've got a standard or a weaker grip, this is vital. So now if I start to try and cup it in transition, oh, it hurts, it really hurts. So what I want to be doing, I want to be keeping that left wrist flat, and now you're going to see, yes, that shaft is doing what we want. It's shallowing out, it's not steepening. Now I can turn my body through and rotate. So all I'm doing here, glove, and I'm putting a tee in that glove. So when I'm coming down in my downswing now, I'm just trying to feel like I'm not getting this tee to jab me. So now I'm getting that cup in a nice spot, I can turn through. This is a real important one, and this can have so many benefits to even squaring up your club face. So if you're a standard grip or weaker grip and you've got this cup left wrist, you're not only going to be steepening the shaft, and if you keep that cup left wrist all the way through, but you're also going to be struggling with club face control. So this is a brilliant one. This is why this is the first one in this, because it can really get so many bases with just one little problem. So that's the first one here, guys. Really be noticeable and be careful on what your wrist angles can do. So you can see cupping steepens, flat will keep it a very similar wrist angle, and then if I bow it, you can see how it's making me very shallow. So know your wrist angles and know how to practice it. The drill with the tee in the glove is absolutely perfect. So let's get into the next one. So the second reason in this video, guys, and this is all about pulling the shaft down in transition. So this is something that a lot of golfers are trying to actively do in their downswing, because they're trying to get the club to swing into out. So they're thinking, right, at the top of the backswing, I need to pull my shaft down real quickly to pull it vertically down to the ground, so that will enable me to swing a little bit more in to out. But you can see if I just physically pull that shaft down, you're going to see if I do that slowly, see how it steepens the shaft. Whenever I put a force on the grip that makes it go down, you can see the shaft will steepen. But then if I put a force on the grip that goes outwards, shaft will now shallow. So this is what we see with quite a lot of good players as well. They'll be trying just to pull that shaft down straight away, and you can see steep shaft. So we've got to be making sure when we're getting up to the top of the backswing, we're getting in a place where we can just let this club go. We can just let this club go whilst we're rotating and shifting our body, and we're not trying to manipulate it with our kind of arms or that kind of area, and we will start to shallow the club a little bit better. I always like the saying of you're getting up to the top, you're relaxing and then you're rotating. You can see I'm relaxing my arms, I'm rotating, and I've got a brilliant drill for this, guys. So this one here is you're getting an alignment stick. So an alignment stick here. Now what we do with this alignment stick is we put this alignment stick underneath our right arm. So be your left arm for a left-handed golfer. So what we do with this is you can see how I put it under my arm, and I've got a big amount of it coming out on my front side here. So we go up to the top of the backswing, and this is a really good one for sequencing up your arm length and your body rotation as well. Good reasons, this for multiple good reasons for this drill. Now what I want to do now when I start the downswing, you can see if, let's say what I don't want to do, if I really start with my transition with the arms going down, you can see how my arm detaches from this part of the stick here. So if I'm going down my downswing, I'm pulling down the club, you're going to see how my hands or my left arm detaches from the stick. Now if I rotate in the downswing and keep my left arm on this stick, look what my shaft pitch does. It shallows, doesn't it? It shallows really, really nicely. So if we're pulling down, that's going to cause a steep shaft. If we're then keeping that left arm on the stick, that's keeping me a more shallow type of shot. So let's hit a ball with this. And this is a drill I have done a lot myself, because I said this is a really multi-use type of drill. Lots of reasons this is good for. So I'm just going to be focusing on getting my left arm attached to this stick all the way through. So really I'm feeling like I'm relaxing my arms at the top and just letting my body go. So relaxing my arms, keeping my arm on this stick. Yeah, it's a really good drill to do. Brilliant one, especially for guys pulling down in a downswing. I'd say for most golfers, they can practice this drill and it is really going to help them in some way in the golf swing. Brilliant one to do. So make sure you're not pulling down with that club to start off the downswing. Yes, it might get you a little bit more in to out, even though steepening the shaft normally makes you go a little bit out to in. But we want to be making sure we're rotating nicely, leaving those arms up there and turning and shifting that body. That'll be a better way. That will shallow your shaft out just from how you're moving your pivot. So third one, let's get right into that. And this one is a very common one again, and it involves this. So guys, I've left probably the most common one for last here. Now this is something I've covered quite a lot on my channel before, and this is all about your right arm movement in a downswing. This is so many people out there, so many people. So you'll be coming down in a downswing again, and let's say you've got good structure with your arms and everything at the top, but your right arm or your trail arm is now going behind you like so. So look at my elbow, see how it's pointing down, now it's pointing behind me, and then look at my shaft. All I'm doing is this movement. I could even do it with one arm and you're going to see the effect of it. See, I'm pointing my elbow behind me, shaft is steepening. Now let's say if I do the opposite, instead of pointing behind me, I want it pointed in front of me. You can see then how it makes a massive difference to your shaft pitch. So many people do this. So all we want to do here, guys, is we want to grab something like this, a ball. So ultimately with this ball here, this is called the impact ball. You can see by it, I've used this for a very long time. So all I'm doing, I'm putting it in between my arms. So any kind of mid-sized ball, just like this, will be perfect just underneath your arms. I'm going to get immediate feedback here. If my right arm now comes away from me in transition, see how it's going to fall down to the ground. I had to guide that a little bit. I didn't want to get going in the mud, so it might have looked a bit funny. But as soon as if I've got that in between my arms, my right arm goes behind me, elbow points behind, that's falling down towards the ground, but the shaft is steepening. Now, if I get up to the top of the backswing with this ball here, and I keep it in between my arms, you can see it's very hard for me to get steep in that downswing. I'm going to be moving way shallower, if anything. So it's a brilliant, brilliant feedback drill. So there are plenty of kind of like training aids on the market for stuff like this. You can either have like something like the impact ball, which is quite an older training aid, or something new like the Tour Striker Smart Ball is a very, very good choice. Something where you're just keeping something in your arms, just underneath your elbow. So it's all about the quality of your elbow movement. I'd say if I had 10 steep shaft golfers come to me on a day of lessons, so it's a steep shaft day, I'll say 8 of them will be doing, like, let's say something about this with that trail arm going behind them. That's how common this is. So all I do is hit some balls here, keeping this in my arms the whole way. So you can see there, it's really creates a very, very good feel of that shaft movement, and it's all just relationships between right arm and shaft here. Now the good thing about this ball as well, it's a multi-use kind of training aid, again, kind of like the alignment stick. It's not only going to fix your steep shaft, it's going to make you rotate better in sequence, again like the alignment stick drill, and it's going to really make you have really good extension going through the ball, so controlling club face really, really nicely. So if I'm keeping this in between my arms, I am shallowing that club, I am not getting steep. So here we go, one more. Very good. So that's what we want to do, and I'll put a card up there as well if you want to watch a video that is primarily and solely just for this, as this is something I've covered quite a lot in the past. So guys, really 3 reasons there, and 3, in my opinion, most common reasons why you're steepening the shaft. Now of course there is a few more in golf. We know golf's very hard. There's loads of different reasons for any problem out there, so there are probably some other reasons in there for sure, but these are the main common ones we see on a daily basis. So if you found this helpful and there was something in there that you didn't quite know was causing a steep shaft, and now you know it does, click that like button. So if you click that like button, if you really enjoyed the video, and as well, if you want more golf instruction just like this, click that subscribe and hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put up a video. So you've got to do, guys, is really focus on these 3 things. Make sure they're all in a nice spot, and I can guarantee you'll be much better for really controlling that shaft pitch in the downswing and swinging the way you want to swing.